So we will start game number 2 here. Freeman down a game with his Constellation deck. He'll start off with an Elvish Mystic. We got about 20 minutes left to go in the match. A Flood Strand and a passing of the turn there from Nelms. Freeman will draw a card. And this is a copy of Courser of Crucifix. And pass the turn back.
Not surprised to see both of these decks with the draw already. A bit on the slow side.
Yeah, both of them do take a little while to win. Especially the Constellation deck, even though it can take control of a game pretty easily, it takes a while to actually close it out.
There's not a lot of cards in the deck that are dedicated to just attacking. It's, picking up value along the way with a bunch of 1/1s and trying to get Whip of Erebos going. It takes a while, even in games it's dominating.
That's Commune. Whip of Erebos among the cards here, along with a Lenimore Waste, a Sylvan Caryatid, a Swamp, and a Windswept Heath. Decisions here as Nelms is going to record some of this information.
Commune also acting here as effectively a shuffle here for Bendon with the Courser in play.
Yep. Get a better look. Or another look, should I say. Top card, Nykthos. Ding,
Perfect.
ding, ding. Forest on top. That'll be the draw next turn. So it looked like Freeman was having some land issues, but no longer. In comes the Courser, in comes the Elvish Mystic.
And I love that particular forest artwork, so very nice choice here from Bendon.
And now we truly know what it's all about.
Listen, someone has to win every match, but not everyone gets to look good.
I'll keep that in mind for the future.
Appreciate that kind of stuff quite a bit.
Anything that we can do to keep Patrick happy in the booth here is important, as there's the Plains there. Are you okay with that Plains?
That's not as good as the forest, but...
Courser Crucifix, the top card.
What are you going to do?
Apparently not much you can't do, from what I can tell.
So it'll be interesting to see how Bendon wants to go through this turn. The card he has to be worried about the most here is Dissolve. And is there a way for him to sort of bob and weave around it, or does he just have to suck it up that Dissolve's going to tag something good, and it's better to get it out of the way now and maybe free up other stuff down the line?
It's an attack. 3 damage is going to come across. Might be time for another Courser, perhaps. That's the card to the front of Freeman's hand. And he will deploy that. See if this gets dissolved, perhaps.
And this is a really nice play for Bendon here, because he's happy if it resolves, he gets to keep attacking. And if it gets countered, that's fine too.
Yep. Looks like Devouring Light was the draw there for Nelms. Nelms going to play a copy of Temple of Enlightenment. Take a look at the top card here. That one's going to the bottom. Not enough for Matthew. No spells cast yet. He's just been playing lands. That's it. Urborg's the top card.
Well, this is going to happen in these Dissolve games.
Yeah.
Bendon doesn't want to do anything, and Matthew wants to continue to hold up Dissolve.
Top card's Thoughtseize.
Often the way that serve gets broken here is by Matthew casting in Hostilities, Bendon untapping and doing whatever he's been holding, and then Matthew trying to beat the leftovers.
Well, what he's holding is good. What he's holding is a copy of Nissa, and that's what he's attempting to set up, I think, right now. And Thoughtseize is a way for him to clear the path, because you see with Nykthos, he can actually add 5 green mana.
Yeah, he's +1 right now.
Yeah. So this is actually quite easy for him. Thoughtseize the perfect card to clear the way.
So it's not even just Nissa resolves, it's Nissa and make something into a 4/4 and hit this turn.
Yep.
And then Brendan's in the desirable spot where End Hostilities doesn't ruin him because he's got a Nissa left over.
Well, that's going to get dissolved. Great spot here for Freeman.
Thoughtseize is the ideal way to break open this kind of stalemate too, because it's so cheap.
Yeah. Also, there's the thought of being Thoughtseize. You don't want to give your opponent the information. Let them take a card. So here's your Nykthos activation. There's your Nissa. And this card is a real tough one for blue-white. Gonna make Lenimore Waste into a 4/4.
Matthew having to burn so many turns doing nothing, and now has to spend his turns doing so much. That's the perfect way to play against control decks. Leave them with mana wasted, then try to overload them in one shot. And Brendan's done exactly that this game.
Well, take a look at Nelms' life total. He's at 3, even if it is on hostilities. That's not going to do it.
That's fine.
This is the old rock and a hard place right here, folks. I think Nelms is going to come to the same conclusion that we have. There ain't no way out of this one.
Prognosis Sphinx, that's not enough. Some random removal spells. It's
Nope. Not when Nissa's staring back at you. Yeah, he's going to pick it up. Cast 1 spell that game. Brendan Freeman going to win game number 2. Green-black Constellation, blue-white control headed to a 3rd game here in just a moment.
Brendan played that game perfect from what I could see in his hands.
Yeah, I think so too.
Did not just run something into the dissolve. Had built up an advantage on the board, and then in one turn was able to push through everything.
We're taking a look at their sideboards. We're going to do the same. You've got Nelms' in front of you.
Is a Resolute Archangel, 2 copies of Burmaz, 4 Nyx Fleece Rams, 2 Disdainful Strokes, and Erase, a Devouring Light, 2 Negates, a Glare of Heresy, and a Fated Retribution. We saw Devouring Light in Matthew's hand, so we know that he brought that in. I think 1 Fated Retribution is excellent against this deck because it builds up such a substantial board. And the Disdainful Strokes seem good to me as well, fighting Planeswalkers. He's also concerned with Whip of Erebos, and Disdainful Stroke is good against all that stuff.
Take a look at the other side of things here. I've got 4 copies of Thoughtseize. Those were effective. 4 Arbor Colossus, 3 Nissa World Waker, 2 Bioblights, a Doomwake Giant, and then a Freaka God Affliction. I expect to see the Thoughtseizes, the Nissas, and then the Freaka.
Exactly.
Pretty easy 8.
Yep, easy stuff. Can pretty safely cut some of his creature removal. He's got 4 copies of Murderous Cuts and some inefficient threats.
2005 Open Series schedule has been announced, so we will talk about that as we are going to start things. It's going to be a little chilly,
Yep.
but it will still be a lot of fun.
Columbus, Philly, DC, and Indy to start off the year.
Yep.
We're going to have 1 weekend off there, you see, in between Philadelphia and DC, but otherwise we're running straight through June on to February when we start getting into some warmer climates. Open Series appears in Houston for the first time and open in Los Angeles the following weekend, Baltimore, and then the Grand Prix in Miami. We're going to have more information about that. It's going to be standard format, and we'll have more information about that rolling out once we're past Grand Prix New Jersey.
Dallas and our Invitational in Richmond is how we're going to close it out. That'll take us through March, and then Season 2 will begin in April. So if you guys have not seen the 2015 Open Series schedule, definitely head over to StarCityGames.com. Get planning, because we are coming.
And we are privy to the Season 2 schedule, you and
No
I.
spoilers. No
No
spoilers.
spoilers, but
No spoilers.
we got some exciting cities coming up.
We sure do. And we will have that for you guys at some point. No spoilers, though.
No spoilers.
Just let it be known that I'm very happy.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's about time. That's it. Like I
That's
said,
it.
no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Nelms and Freeman, game number 3. Blue-white control versus green-black constellation.
And
Nelms
it
will be on the play this game.
really behooves these players to try to win the game here because given the size of the tournament, a loss is not a death sentence for either player because we're just over the hurdle to 10 rounds. And a win here is huge. 6-0-1, 3 rounds to go. Can afford a loss. It's a great position to be in.
One thing's for sure, got to get moving.
Yes. Because these games are not going to be fast.
I know that second one was fast, but that seemed like a perfect storm, for lack of a better term. Don't know if I expect to see that again here. Matthew Nelms is going to be on the play with this blue-white control deck, a deck that was put on the map last weekend by Jeremy Bylander, second place finish in Minneapolis. A lot of people do like blue-white control. No Sphinx's Revelation, but I think through time still pretty good. Looks like Nelms is going to take a mulligan very quickly here.
To me, the spot removal is the big upside to this deck. I think a little bit better suited for fighting some of the more aggressive strategies. And mana slightly more stable because you don't need double white as quickly as the blue-black build needs double black.
Last Breath, Devouring Light, and Hostilities.
A little bit easier than Bio Blight and Hero's Downfall that you're trying to cast early on in the game. I think the blue-white control deck is much, much better against Goblin Rabble Master than its blue-black counterpart. And that alone is a big incentive to play blue-white.
Let's see if Nelms, can find a better 6. Well, he does finish shuffling. If you guys are just joining us, Cedric Phillips, Patrick Sullivan, StarCityGames.com Open Series here in Oakland, California at SCG Live, hashtag SCGOAK for your tweets. We're around 7 to 10. Just a couple more to go here. It looks like they may have a breakout deck here in Oakland.
Yep. Heroic Ascendancy. I, again, have not felt that way watching a standard deck in the booth ever. Something I haven't seen before, and watching it in action saying, oh man, this is legit.
Yeah, this is a good deck. That is for sure.
Maybe Boss Sly at the Invitational.
I mean, I think that deck is good, but I think it's more of a matter of Tom is very difficult to beat when piloting set archetype.
That's true. But in terms of, we really haven't seen something like this. But it's so different this time because the community already felt we have an Ascendancy combo deck. We know what it looks like. And to just turn that on its head and build a completely different Ascendancy combo deck that looks, to me at least, to be a big improvement over the original, that's new territory.
Nelms going to go down to 5 here. So we'll see what he's able to put together.
Looks like our spotter there imploring Matthew to shuffle a little bit faster. I believe 3 minutes is typically the cap on when you're supposed to be able to, sideboard, shuffle, resolve mulligans. These players have been kind of teetering past that point.
Indeed. So we're going to give it a hearty shuffle before we do present. And we'll see if we can find a better 5.
Were you covering the Open once when someone played a ponder on turn 1, shuffled, and started piling?
I think so. It's a legendary story.
Yeah.
He's going to keep the 5. There's a flooded strand. We're underway here in game number 3. I do remember there was a PTQ where the opponents did not like each other, and one of them was playing Mind's Desire, and he Mind's Desire for 17. And back then, with Mind's Desire, you were supposed to shuffle in between each copy, but it was kind of an accepted shortcut that you didn't have to.
Yeah.
So he Mind's Desire for 1, pile shuffled, and his opponent's like, you don't have to do it. He's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I will want to make sure my deck is random so that you don't get unlucky. They were not, they're not good friends.
I can tell.
To say the least, yeah. So 18 pile shuffle later, another Mind's Desire came off the top of the deck. And, well, you kind of know how things went from there. A judge intervened, and the Mind's Desire player did win the match. So Seder Wayfinder is going to attack here for 1. Helm's going to go down to 21. There's a Nykthos into a Courser. Top card is a Seder Wayfinder. Back to Helms we go.
And Brendan has to be conscious of his place of play, too, because his deck does not kill that quickly. He might be playing against a deck that has a fair amount of removal, blockers, sweepers. So even on 5 cards, Matthew might be able to defend himself long enough to get a draw.
It's an island. We may have a Banished Light or something in the sand here. We'll pass the turn over to Freeman. Going to draw the Seder Wayfinder. Top card of the deck is Nissa. That's a powerful spell. We saw that last game. You have to imagine Freeman wants that for his draw step.
Yep.
There's a forest, trigger the Courser. Up to 21 he goes.
And again, how to develop his board to apply enough pressure without leaving himself too exposed to a sweeper. Now, the green-black Constellation deck has a lot of ways to do this. He has a lot of sources of card advantage on little 1/1s and 2/2s, which helps a lot in this sort of game plan, but the clock is another factor.
Island Blossom's going to resolve. Trigger. Draw Nissa. Top card is a Farika. You have to imagine he wants that one too. So Freeman is doing his thing here with about 5 minutes left to go. Nelms will draw. Again, he's on a mulligan of 5. Looks like he may have picked up a copy of Flooded Strand. Yeah, there's that. He's got 2 of those in play now. Going to sacrifice both.
This Constellation deck has so many slow burns in it. Courser, Crewfix, Eidolon, Farika. It's not fast, but it is sustainable.
It's powerful.
The sources of card advantage.
An island and a plains. One Nelms will search up. Yeah. Time for end hostilities, predictably. Clear everything up. We'll see if Freeman actually has the 5th land for Nissa. Be a good turn to have it. You see a forest in his hand, so it looks like he does.
But this is the sort of thing that Matthew may be able to manage. You know, if he has an answer to Nissa straight away, then he's only facing down a 4/4. It's hard, but it feels like it's much more like he's going to be able to keep his head above water this game than last.
Nelms going to draw a card. Has a copy on hostilities and grip.
That said, this is still big time trouble.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to willingly play against Nissa, that's for sure. Banishlight Light is an answer, but you better have it.
So much different watching these blue control decks in action now that they don't have access to Sphinx's Revelation. Because when they mulligan into 5, or they like miss land drops and things like that, it feels like it might actually matter.
Yeah.
It's the other deck, less so.
There's an attack for 4. Nelm's going to go down to 12. This is another Nissa. That's going to make Nykthos into a 4/4. Pass the turn back, setting up lethal for next turn.
Targeting Nykthos in the event that he gets hit with another copy of End Hostilities, he can draw another Nykthos and not be locked out, legendary land style.
I do like the target.
Yep.
Nelms does have another copy on hostilities in hand. There's an island. The problem here for Matthew is that it doesn't kill the Planeswalker, just the lands. So away those go. That'll buy him some more time. Over to Freeman we go. He will draw a card. We know he's got a Freaka in his hand. This is a Thoughtseize. Jason's Ingenuity and a Resolute Archangel. I want the Archangel.
Yeah, Jason's Ingenuity is not going to help Matthew rather. Brendan still has lethal over the course of this turn and next because he has 4+8, and Jason's Ingenuity is not going to help there.
Elevator up. Play a forest, in for 4, put you to 8. Any follow-up? Absolutely. Satyr Wayfinder. Trigger that. Take a look at the top cards here. Doomwake Giant, a Swamp, a Forest, and a copy of Llanowar Waste. Those will go to the bin. Swamp will go to the grip. Pass the turn back to Nelms. Jason, just a copy of Jason's Ingenuity. Draws a card for the turn. I have a great look at it, but I'm not sure if there's anything that can help him in this situation. The Archangel was the big plan. And it looks like maybe a copy of Elspeth came rolling off the top.
Elspeth is at least a turn.
There are worse draws. See a little bit of math here. We can't forget, as Elspeth does come into the battlefield, that those lands from Nissa, they have trample.
Yeah, it's not as good. Elspeth is not good against Nissa in the way that Elspeth is good against nearly every other ground attacker. A steady stream of 4/4 tramplers is challenging for Elspeth to contain.
And there are the soldier tokens. That'll be Nelms' turn. Freeman quickly untap. He will draw a card. That's a swamp. I'm gonna tick this up. Make a 4/4 here. I think you just crash into Nelms. Ignore that Elspeth, probably. It's kind of tough to do, though, because Elspeth can minus and kill the lands. So.
Yeah, ignoring Elspeth's also risky because if Matthew draws End Hostilities, now the game's actually a little dangerous.
There's a block. There's a block. Damage going to come across here. Deal 1.
Yeah, this looks like 7 points of damage coming across right now, assuming everything attacked Matthew.
Yeah, we'll get confirmation on where the attackers are going. It looks like they're just going to Nelms. Yeah, he's down to 1. There's a Freeaka. As you mentioned, it does get interesting if End Hostilities comes off the top. Opting to ignore Elspeth. Turn 1 of extra time. These players already have a draw. Nelms going to draw a card. And Hostilities is the big one. Yeah, we know he has Jace's Ingenuity.
He cannot afford to take a turn off casting Jace's Ingenuity.
Take a look at Farika here. The Snake Maker. 3 mana, it's a copy of Banishing Light. That's going to take out Vanessa.
Okay, now he can minus, clear out the tokens.
We're still playing.
Is Matthew going to be able to squeeze a draw out of this?
Yeah. There's a swamp.
At 1.
That's the Seder Wayfinder. Nothing too exciting there. Orborg's going to go to the hand. The rest are going to go to the bin. Pass the turn back. The ability to make snakes. Nelms will untap. It's turn number 3. He's at 1.
You can now Jace's Ingenuity. Look for help if he finds it great. If not, just plus the Elspeth. Probably get to block out of the turn.
Yeah, I would have liked casting Jason's Ingenuity there before doing anything. In case maybe he finds a card like Tranquil Cove.
Yeah.
Radiant Fountain for his land drop. Here's an activation. So there's a 1/1 Death Touch Snake. Somebody's looking for a Doomweight Giant, I think.
Doomweight would be sweet. He's already flipped 1 over, so we know it's in his deck.
Commune. Turns off the Doomwake option.
And not enough mana to commune for it.
You see Nelms just shrugging his shoulders saying, I don't really know how I got back in this one either.
Not only got back into it, I think there's a reasonable chance Matthew wins this game if it plays out. With Jace's Ingenuity?
Yeah, maybe he's supposed to go after the Elspeth.
Yeah, the attack force short of lethal, and then Matthew being able to draw. It didn't even have to be end hostilities, being able to draw Banishing Light and crawl back into this game means that I think Brendan was supposed to take care of Elspeth.
There are the blocks, some soldier tokens left over. Freeman going to play Commune. This is Ingenuity in response. Now he's trying to hold on. 1, 2, 3. It is turn number 4. There's negate to counter that. Pass the turn back. This is turn number 5. I can't believe he did it. He worked his way into a draw.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Not just a draw, but I mean,
This is like a winning position if we had more time.
it looks pretty solid for Matthew.
Yeah, he has a copy of End Hostilities in his hand, his backup. Yeah, that's turn number 5. It's a dominating board position. There's a backup Elspeth. Sure, why not? Make 3 more soldier tokens. That's going to do it. It'll be a draw for these players. Somehow, some way, Matthew Nelms is at 1, but 1's not none. It looks like they're going to move on to 5, 0, and 2 as we're going to bring it back to the booth here.
Able to fight his way through a mulligan to 5, too.